I'm Frank Granger, and according to my wife's family, I'm the luckiest son of a bitch in Texas. Lucky to have landed Megan. Lucky to live in their perfect little suburb. Lucky to be invited to their Sunday dinners, where they remind me just how lucky I am. If luck smells like disappointment and tastes like swallowed pride, then yeah, I'm drowning in it. It's Tuesday morning, and I'm fixing the Wi-Fi router in our McMansion, the one Megan's parents helped us buy because my IT salary apparently wasn't quite enough for their princess. The irony isn't lost on me that the guy who secures corporate networks for a living can't seem to secure his own damn marriage. Frank, hurry up with that internet thing, Megan calls from upstairs, her voice carrying that familiar edge of impatience. I have a video call with the girls in 10 minutes. The girls, right. Megan's circle of suburban queens, who spend their days planning charity galas and their nights gossiping about whose husband is failing to meet expectations. I'm pretty sure I'm a regular topic. I'm 41, ex-military, and I've spent the last 15 years building a decent life. Not spectacular, not Instagram-worthy, but decent. Megan's 39 and works in HR at a medical equipment company. She's beautiful, the kind of beautiful that made 19-year-old me think I'd won the lottery when she said yes to a date. 20 years later, I'm starting to wonder if I actually lost. Our son Lucas is 15, smart as hell, and inheriting my talent for sarcasm. He's upstairs in his room, probably wondering why his parents barely speak to each other anymore, except to coordinate schedules and argue about money. As I'm resetting the router, Megan's phone buzzes on the kitchen counter. She left it charging while she showered, which is unusual. Megan guards that phone like it contains state secrets. The screen lights up with a text preview from someone named B, with a fire emoji. Can't wait for tonight, beautiful. That dress is going to drive me crazy. My stomach drops like I've been sucker punched. I stare at the message until the screen goes dark, then look around our kitchen. The granite countertops Megan insisted on, the stainless steel appliances that cost more than my first car, the family photos where we're all smiling lies. 20 years of marriage, and apparently I'm not the only one she's planning to drive crazy. I hear the shower turn off upstairs. My hands are shaking as I finish with the router, my mind racing through months of late nights, weekend girls' trips, and Megan's sudden interest in working out and buying new clothes. All those times she said she was finding herself and prioritizing her happiness. Guess I know where I rank in those priorities. The water stops running, and I hear Megan moving around upstairs. I grab my coffee and head to my home office, which is really just the converted garage where I keep my computers and try to pretend I have a space that's actually mine. My phone rings. It's Dwayne Morrison, my best friend since high school, and the only person in this town who doesn't think I should be grateful for my circumstances. Morning, Frank. You sound like shit. Thanks for the pep talk, Dwayne. Seriously, what's wrong? You've been off for weeks. Dwayne's an ex-cop turned private investigator, which means he notices things other people miss. He's also the kind of friend who'd help you bury a body, then buy the first round afterward. Just tired, I lie. Megan's got another charity thing tonight. More quality time with her family's social circle. Those people still treating you like hired help? Something like that. There's a pause. Dwayne knows me well enough to hear what I'm not saying. Frank, if you need to talk about anything, and I mean anything, you know where to find me. After we hang up, I sit in my garage office, staring at my reflection in the black computer screen. 41 years old, graying at the temples, carrying about 15 pounds more than I did when Megan married me. Not exactly the prize I used to be, but I'm not stupid. I didn't survive 2 tours in Afghanistan and 15 years in corporate IT by being naive. If Megan's cheating, I need proof. If she's planning to leave me, I need to be ready. I spend the next hour setting up monitoring software on our home network. It's not illegal, it's my network, my house, my name on the internet bill. If Megan wants privacy for her extracurricular activities, she can get her own Wi-Fi. Around noon, she comes downstairs dressed for work but looking like she's going to a photo shoot. New dress, perfect makeup, hair styled like she's expecting to be photographed. The internet's working great, she says, checking her phone. Thanks, honey. Honey. She hasn't called me honey in months. No problem. What time will you be home tonight? Late. The charity planning committee is meeting for dinner to finalize details for the gala next week. You know how these things go. I know exactly how these things go. What I don't know is whether B with the fire emoji will be there. Will Carla be there? I ask. Carla's Megan's work friend, and the worst secret keeper in Texas. If there's gossip to be spilled, Carla's the one holding the bucket. Of course. Why? Just wondering. She seemed nervous at Lucas's birthday party last month, like she wanted to tell me something but couldn't. Megan's face goes carefully blank. Carla's always nervous. That's just how she is. She kisses my cheek, a dry, perfunctory peck, and heads for the garage. A minute later, I hear her BMW backing out of the driveway. I wait exactly 10 minutes, then check the network monitoring software. Megan's phone connected to our Wi-Fi for 30 seconds before she left, just long enough to sync her messages. And there they are. Dozens of messages between Megan and someone whose contact name is Brian Field, but whose number matches the B from this morning. Brian Field. I know that name. He's the real estate agent whose face is on half the bus benches in town. Mid-30s, artificially white teeth. The kind of guy who calls everyone buddy and thinks a firm handshake can solve any problem. The messages go back 3 months. At first they're professional, something about Megan looking at investment properties. Then they get friendly. Then they get flirty. Then they get explicit. I'm reading about my wife's plans for tonight, and they don't involve any charity committee. They involve a hotel room downtown and activities that definitely aren't tax deductible. The worst part isn't the cheating. It's the things she says about me, about how I don't understand her needs, how I'm comfortable with mediocrity, how she deserves better than settling. 20 years of marriage, and I'm apparently just the guy she settled for. I print out the worst messages and put them in a folder. Then I call Dwayne. I need that talk now. My office, or Murphy's Bar, your office. And Dwayne, bring your camera. Murphy's Bar would have been the wrong choice anyway. Too many people from Megan's social circle might see me there, and right now I need to be invisible while I figure out my next move. Dwayne's office is in a strip mall between a nail salon and a tax preparation service. The sign on the door says Morrison Investigations in faded gold letters. Inside, it's exactly what you'd expect from an ex-cop's PI office. Metal desk, filing cabinets, coffee that could strip paint, and a complete lack of anything decorative. Show me, Dwayne says, after I explain the situation. I hand him the printed messages. He reads them without expression, which is somehow worse than if he'd gotten angry on my behalf. How long do you think this has been going on? He asks. Based on the messages, 3 months. But honestly, probably longer. The physical stuff started 3 months ago, but she's been emotionally checked out for over a year. What do you want to do about it? That's the question, isn't it? 20 years ago, the answer would have been simple. Confront her, demand an explanation, try to work it out. But I'm not 21 anymore, and I've learned that sometimes the best response to betrayal isn't forgiveness, it's strategy. I want to know everything. Who he is, what he wants, whether this is just physical or if they're planning something bigger. Like divorce? Like taking me for everything I'm worth in a divorce. Dwayne nods. Smart. Texas is a community property state, but if we can prove adultery, it affects how assets get divided. Plus, if she's been moving money around or making plans, we need to know. Can you do a background check on Brian Field? Already running it. He turns to his computer. Real estate agent, divorced 2 years ago, drives a leased BMW, rents a condo downtown. On paper, he looks successful, but his credit report tells a different story. What kind of story? The kind where a guy lives beyond his means and needs someone else to help pay the bills. My stomach clenches. You think he's after Megan's money? I think he's after your money. Megan just happens to have access to it. I spend the next hour giving Dwayne everything I know about Megan's recent behavior, her schedule, her friends, and her family. By the time we're done, I feel like I'm planning a military operation, which, in a way, I am. One more thing, I tell him. Megan's family is hosting their annual charity gala next weekend. It's a big deal. 500 people, local politicians, business leaders, everyone who matters in this town will be there. Including Brian? I'd bet money on it. These people love their real estate connections. Perfect. Nothing like a public venue for gathering intelligence. I drive home with a plan forming in my mind. Not revenge. Not yet. But preparation. If Megan wants to play games, I need to know the rules first. Lucas is in the kitchen when I get home, making a sandwich that appears to contain everything we have in the refrigerator. Mom's working late again? He asks, without looking up. Committee meeting. Right. He takes a bite of his architectural marvel. Dad, can I ask you something? Shoot. Are you and Mom getting divorced? The question hits me like a punch to the solar plexus. Why would you ask that? Because you guys barely talk anymore, unless you're arguing about money. And Mom's been acting weird, like happy weird, which is almost worse than regular weird. I sit down across from him. Lucas has my eyes and Megan's stubborn chin, and right now he looks older than 15. I don't know, son. Things are complicated right now. That's adult speak for yes, but I'm not ready to tell you yet. Smart kid, too smart. If something happens, I say carefully, you need to know that it's not your fault. And no matter what, you're the most important thing in my life. He nods, but I can see the worry in his eyes. We'll the first have to choose, like, who to live with. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But Lucas, if it comes to that, you'll have choices. Real choices, not just what other people think is best for you. That evening, I sit in my office monitoring the network traffic from Megan's phone. She's at the Marriott downtown, and her phone is connected to their Wi-Fi. The metadata shows she's been there for 3 hours. At 10:47 p.m., she sends a message to her sister Jess. Committee meeting ran late, heading home now. At 10:52 p.m., she sends a very different message to Brian. Tonight was perfect. I can't wait until we don't have to sneak around anymore. I screenshot everything. She gets home at 11:15, smelling like expensive cologne that isn't mine. She's cheerful, humming while she gets ready for bed. And she actually initiates a conversation about the charity gala. You're still planning to come Saturday night, right? Wouldn't miss it, I lie. Good. It's important to Mom that we present a united front. You know how she gets about family image. Family image, right. Can't have the neighbors thinking the Grangers are anything less than perfect. Will it be the usual crowd? Mostly. Some new faces this year. Brian Field will be there. He's been helping Mom with some property investments. She says his name like it means nothing, like she wasn't in his bed 3 hours ago. Looking forward to meeting him, I say. The next few days pass in a surreal routine of normal married life layered over surveillance and preparation. I go to work, come home, have dinner with my family, and pretend I don't know my wife is planning to destroy our life. Dwayne calls Thursday with an update on Brian Field. Your instincts were right. Guy's broke. The successful real estate agent thing is mostly an act. He's behind on his rent, his car payment, and he owes his ex-wife $30,000 in unpaid support. $30,000. Gets better. His ex-wife, Tasha, filed a complaint with the real estate board about some questionable business practices. Nothing proven, but there's a pattern of him getting close to women with money. So Megan's not his first target, probably not his last either, if this works out for him. Friday night, Megan gets her hair done and picks up her dress for the gala. It's a red number that probably cost more than my monthly salary, and she looks stunning in it. For a moment, I remember why I fell in love with her. Then I remember the messages, and the feeling passes. You clean up nice, I tell her. Thanks. I want tomorrow night to be special. I'll bet she does. Saturday arrives with the kind of perfect Texas weather that makes you believe in second chances. Too bad I'm not in the mood for redemption. I put on my best suit, the one I wore to my father's funeral, and prepare to attend what might be the last social event of my marriage. The charity gala is being held at the country club, where Megan's parents have been members for 30 years. The same country club where they had their wedding reception, where we celebrated Lucas's baptism, where I've spent countless evenings smiling and nodding, while being reminded of my place in the social hierarchy. Tonight, though, I'm not here to smile and nod. Tonight, I'm here to watch my wife destroy our marriage in public, and to make sure I have a front row seat for every moment of it. The Riverside Country Club looks like something out of a magazine tonight. White lights strung between the oak trees, valets in bow ties, and enough Texas oil money to fund a small country. Megan's parents, Richard and Ruth Caldwell, are holding court near the entrance, accepting congratulations for another successful charity event. Ruth spots us immediately and waves us over. She's 65, perfectly preserved, and has never forgiven me for not being the lawyer she wanted for her daughter. Frank, dear, you look handsome tonight, she says, which is her way of expressing surprise that I own a decent suit. Thank you, Ruth. Beautiful event as always. Well, we do try to maintain certain standards. She turns to Megan. Darling, you look absolutely radiant. That dress is perfect. Megan beams under her mother's approval. I felt like I needed something special for tonight. Special occasions call for special efforts, Richard adds, shaking my hand with his politician's grip. Frank, good to see you. How's the computer business? Information security, I correct for the 100th time. It's going well. Wonderful, wonderful. We have several young entrepreneurs here tonight. Always good to network. Translation, maybe you can find someone to teach you how to make real money. I excuse myself to get drinks, which gives me a chance to survey the room. 500 people in formal wear, all of them part of the social ecosystem that Megan values more than our marriage. I spot several faces I recognize from her Instagram posts, including Carla from her work, who's already 3 drinks in and looking nervous. And there, near the silent auction tables, is Brian Field. He's exactly what I expected. Tall, tan, wearing a tuxedo that probably cost more than he can afford. His smile is practiced, his handshake firm, and he's working the room like a politician running for office. I watch him for 10 minutes before he notices Megan. The change in his demeanor is subtle but unmistakable. His smile becomes genuine, his posture straightens, and he starts moving in her direction like a heat-seeking missile. I intercept him at the bar. "Excuse me, aren't you Brian Field? I've seen your signs all over town." He turns on the charm immediately. "That's me, Brian Field, Riverside Realty, and you are?" "Frank Granger. My wife Megan works with the committee." His smile falters for just a fraction of a second. "Megan Granger? Of course. She's mentioned you. IT, right? Information security. And you're the one who's been helping Ruth with property investments." "Among other things," he recovers quickly. "Your wife speaks very highly of you. I'll bet she does. She's mentioned you too. Says you're very attentive to your clients' needs. If he catches the double meaning, he doesn't show it. Customer service is everything in my business. I'm sure it is." We stand there for a moment. 2 men who know exactly what game we're playing, but can't acknowledge it in public. He's younger, better looking, and probably thinks he's smarter. What he doesn't know is that I've been planning for this conversation all week. I say casually, "I've been thinking about investment properties myself. Maybe we should talk sometime." "I'd love that. Here's my card." I take it and make a show of studying it. "Nice, professional. I bet you do very well for yourself. Can't complain." "Good for you." In my experience, success in real estate is all about knowing your market and understanding what people really want. Absolutely, and being able to close the deal when the opportunity presents itself. Now he definitely catches the double meaning. His smile becomes more cautious. "Well, timing is everything," he says. "It certainly is." I excuse myself and head back to find Megan. She's talking to her sister Jess, who's holding court with a group of younger wives. Jess is 35, unmarried, and makes her living as a social media influencer, which means she gets paid to take pictures of herself with products. "Frank." Jess air kisses both my cheeks. "You look so distinguished tonight." "Doesn't he look distinguished, Megan?" "Very handsome," Megan agrees, but she's looking past me toward the bar where Brian is now talking to another couple. "I was just telling everyone about my new collaboration with that skincare company," Jess continues. "The one that's supposed to make you look 10 years younger." "Working on you, is it?" I ask. She laughs, but there's an edge to it. "Frank's always been such a kidder. Megan, you're so lucky to have a husband with a sense of humor." "Lucky," Megan repeats absently. I spend the next hour making small talk and watching Megan watch Brian. She's trying to be subtle, but I know her tells: the way she touches her hair when she's nervous, how she laughs too loudly at jokes that aren't funny, the way she keeps checking her phone. During dinner, I'm seated between Ruth and a local banker who wants to explain cryptocurrency to me. Megan is 3 seats away, between her father and a city councilman. Brian is at a different table entirely, but I catch them making eye contact across the room. After the main course, there's a brief program about the charity, something involving underprivileged children and educational opportunities. I should be paying attention, but I'm watching Megan text someone under the table. When the formal program ends and people start moving around for the silent auction and dancing, I see my opportunity. I follow Megan as she heads toward the ladies' room, but she doesn't go inside. Instead, she slips out the side door onto the patio. I give her a 30-second head start, then follow. The patio overlooks the golf course, and it's mostly empty except for a few couples getting air. Megan is at the far end, partially hidden by a large planter, talking to Brian. I move closer, staying in the shadows, and activate the voice recording app on my phone. "I'm Devil and can't keep doing this," Megan is saying. "Someone's going to notice." "No, let them notice," Brian replies. "I'm tired of pretending. You deserve better than this, Megan. You deserve to be someone's first priority." "It's complicated. There's Lucas to think about, and the money situation. We've talked about this. Once everything's settled, We'll have plenty of money. Your half of the house alone is worth 300,000. No house. The house I've been paying the mortgage on for 12 years. I know, but Frank's not stupid. If I file for divorce, he's going to ask questions. So what? You're not happy. Anyone can see that. You've been miserable for years. "Oh, I haven't been miserable," she protests weakly. Really? When's the last time he took you somewhere nice? When's the last time he bought you something just because? When's the last time he made you feel like a woman instead of just a wife? I'm recording every word, but each one feels like a knife between my ribs. He's a good father, Megan says. Being a good father doesn't make him a good husband. You said it yourself. You feel like you settled. You were 19 when you met him, Megan. You didn't know what you wanted then. And now I do. Now you know what you don't want. You don't want to spend the next 20 years being grateful for mediocrity. There it is. 20 years of marriage reduced to grateful for mediocrity. The charity auction is starting, Megan says. We should go back inside. Not yet. Brian moves closer to her. I bought something for you. Brian, you can't keep doing that. What if someone sees? It's just a bracelet. Nothing too obvious. I watch him put a jewelry box in her hands. She opens it, and even from 20 feet away, I can see her face light up. It's beautiful, but no buts. You deserve beautiful things, Megan. You deserve to be cherished. He kisses her then, right there on the patio of her parents' country club, 30 yards from 500 people who know us both. I stop recording and slip back inside, my hands shaking with rage. Back in the ballroom, I find Carla at the bar, working on what appears to be her 5th martini. Frank, there you are. Having fun? The best. You? Oh, you know how these things are. Same people, same conversations. She leans closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. Can I tell you something? Sure. I think Megan's having an affair. I nearly choke on my drink. What makes you say that? She's been so secretive lately. And happy, like weirdly happy. Plus, she asked me to cover for her last week when she said she was at a work meeting, but I saw her car at the Marriott. Maybe she was meeting a client there. Maybe. Carla doesn't look convinced. But Frank, if something was going on, you'd want to know, right? I think any husband would want to know. Good, because I like you, Frank. You're one of the good ones. You deserve better than, well, you know. I do know. The question is what I'm going to do about it. Megan returns from the patio wearing Brian's bracelet and a guilty smile. She's flushed, happy, and more beautiful than she's looked in months. Where did you go? I ask. Just getting some air. It's stuffy in here. Find what you were looking for? What do I mean? Air. Did you find enough air? Oh, yes. Much better now. The rest of the evening passes in a blur of forced conversations and fake smiles. I bid on a few silent auction items I don't want, dance with Megan to songs that used to mean something, and shake hands with people who think I'm lucky to be here. At midnight, we finally head home. Megan is quiet in the car, probably thinking about Brian. I'm quiet too, but I'm thinking about the recording on my phone and what I'm going to do with it. Nice evening, I say as we pull into our driveway. Your parents outdid themselves. They always do. That bracelet is new. Her hand goes instinctively to her wrist. This? I've had it for a while. Funny. I don't remember seeing it before tonight. Well, I don't wear all my jewelry all the time, Frank. Of course not. That would be wasteful. She looks at me sharply, but I'm already getting out of the car. Inside, she heads straight upstairs to change. I go to my office and upload the recording to my computer, then send a copy to Dwayne with a text message. Got it. He responds immediately. Holy shit, Frank. This changes everything. Yes, it does. I sit in my garage office until 3 a.m., listening to my wife plan my destruction and thinking about what comes next. By the time I finally go to bed, I've made my decision. If Megan wants to play games, I'll play games, but I'm going to win. I wake up Sunday morning to the smell of bacon and the sound of Megan humming in the kitchen. She's making breakfast, actual breakfast, not just coffee and whatever Lucas can find in the pantry. She's wearing my old college t-shirt and pajama shorts, looking like the woman I married instead of the stranger she's become. Morning, honey, she says when I come downstairs. I thought I'd make your favorite. My favorite breakfast is Eggs Benedict, which she hasn't made in 3 years. This is scrambled eggs and bacon, which is Lucas's favorite, but I don't correct her. This is nice, I say, sitting down at the kitchen island. What's the occasion? Can't a wife make breakfast for her husband without an ulterior motive? Actually, no, not this wife, not anymore. But I play along. Of course, thank you. Lucas stumbles downstairs, drawn by the smell of food. Mom's cooking? What happened? Did someone die? Very funny, Megan says, but she's smiling. I just thought it would be nice to have a family breakfast. We eat together for the first time in months, making small talk about the gala and Lucas's upcoming school events. It's almost normal, except for the new bracelet on Megan's wrist and the way she keeps checking her phone. After breakfast, she announces she's going shopping with Jess, which gives me the opening I need. Take your time, I tell her. Lucas and I might catch a movie. That sounds nice. You two should spend more time together. The irony is suffocating. After she leaves, I call Dwayne. Can you meet me at the house? I want to show you something. He arrives 20 minutes later with coffee and a grim expression. I listened to that recording, Frank. She's really doing this. It gets worse. When I show him the financial records I've been analyzing. Over the past 6 months, Megan has been moving money from our joint accounts into a separate account I didn't know existed. Not huge amounts, 500 here, 1,000 there, but it adds up to almost $15,000. She's planning her exit strategy, Dwayne says, and funding Brian's lifestyle in the meantime. Look at this. When I show him the credit card statements. Dinners at expensive restaurants on nights when she claimed to be working late. Hotel charges that match the dates of her supposed girls' trips. A jewelry purchase from last week that matches the bracelet she's wearing. She's using your money to finance her affair. Our money, but yes. Dwayne studies the papers. This is good, Frank, really good. In a divorce, this kind of financial infidelity matters. But we need more. What kind of more? Proof that she's planning to take you for everything you're worth. Right now, we have evidence of an affair and some questionable spending. But if she files first and claims irreconcilable differences, she could still get half of everything. So what do you suggest? We need to know their endgame. Is this just an affair, or are they planning something bigger? When I think about Brian's comment regarding my house being worth $300,000, I think it's bigger. Then we need to be smarter. Right now, you're playing defense. It's time to play offense. What did you have in mind? Dwayne grins, and for a moment I see the cop he used to be. We're going to give them enough rope to hang themselves. Onaistad na layon, would fintig, undikaviestabal did. The idea is to create situations where Megan and Brian will reveal their true intentions, while giving me legal and financial protection. Step 1. I'm going to confront Brian directly. But not about the affair. I'm going to approach him as a potential client, which will give me a legitimate reason to ask questions about his business and his methods. Step 2. I'm going to start moving assets into accounts that Megan can't access, but I'm going to do it legally and transparently. If she's planning to clean me out, I need to protect what I can. Step 3. I'm going to let slip to the right people that I'm suspicious about Megan's behavior. Not accusations, just concerns. Let the gossip network do what it does best. What's the goal? I ask. To force them into making a mistake. Right now, they think they're being clever. But people who think they're smarter than everyone else tend to get careless. And if they don't get careless, then we'll help them along. After Dwayne leaves, I spend the afternoon with Lucas. We don't go to a movie. Instead, we sit on the back patio and talk. Really talk, for the first time in months. Dad, are you okay? You seem different lately. Different how? I don't know. Sadder, I guess, but also angrier. A smart kid. I'm dealing with some adult stuff right now. Nothing for you to worry about. Is it about Mom? I look at my son, 15 years old, too smart for his own good, and already seeing through the facade his mother and I have been maintaining. Lucas, what would you say if I told you that sometimes adults make mistakes? Big mistakes that hurt the people they're supposed to love. I'd say that sucks, but it's not exactly breaking news. Adults screw up all the time. And if those mistakes meant that our family might look different in the future? He's quiet for a long moment. I'd say that as long as you don't lie to me about it, I can handle whatever happens. I won't lie to you. Good, because I'm not stupid, Dad. I know something's wrong. I just don't know what yet. When I figure out what I can tell you, I will. I promise. Okay. He stands up. Dad, whatever Mom did, it's not your fault. The kid's intuition is scary. Megan comes home at dinner time with shopping bags and a story about lunch with Jess that includes too many details to be entirely true. She's cheerful, affectionate, and pays more attention to me than she has in months. It's the behavior of someone with a guilty conscience trying to overcompensate. After dinner, I excuse myself to my office and start implementing Dwayne's plan. First, I call Brian's office and leave a message about scheduling a consultation for investment properties. Then I start the process of moving money from our joint savings account into an individual account, legally, transparently, but strategically. Finally, I compose a carefully worded email to my brother in Dallas, knowing that Megan sometimes reads my email when she thinks I'm not paying attention. Things have been tough lately, I write. Megan's been distant, working late a lot, and I'm starting to wonder if there's something going on that I should know about. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but my gut is telling me to be careful. I don't send it immediately. Instead, I save it to drafts, where Megan will find it if she goes looking. Then I wait. Monday morning, Brian calls me back. Frank, got your message about investment properties. I'd love to help you explore your options. Great. When can we meet? How about lunch today? There's a place downtown that's perfect for business discussions. The place turns out to be an upscale steakhouse where the cheapest entree costs $40. Brian is already there when I arrive, sitting in a booth that gives him a view of the entire restaurant. Frank, good to see you again. He stands to shake my hand, all smiles and enthusiasm. Thanks for making time. Always have time for a potential client, especially one married to such a lovely woman. I let that slide. So, investment properties. What would you recommend for someone in my situation? Well, that depends. What kind of budget are we talking about? I was thinking of liquidating some assets, maybe 100,000 to start. His eyes light up. 100,000 is probably more money than he's seen in months. That's a serious investment. Smart move, getting into real estate. The market's hot right now, especially for rental properties. That's what I hear. Of course, I'd want to make sure I'm working with someone I can trust. Someone who puts their clients' interests first. Absolutely. Trust is everything in this business. Good to know. I've heard some horror stories about agents who get too close to their clients. Boundary issues, you know? He shifts uncomfortably. Well, every profession has its bad actors. True. But you strike me as someone who keeps things professional. I try to. I'm sure you do. So, these rental properties, what kind of return are we talking about? We spend the next hour discussing real estate markets and investment strategies. Brian is knowledgeable, I'll give him that, but he's also desperate. He pushes too hard, makes promises he probably can't keep, and name drops clients in ways that make me question his discretion. By